Good evening, fellow punchers. The clock on the wall says 13 minutes past 6 on Thursday evening, day 3 over. Got delayed there. I mentioned this about a half an hour ago, but a man called with a present, a Christmas present he was given for the Christmas of 2021 and a Christmas card. And he was passing it. He only found it in his attic a couple of days ago. So he dropped it in. So I couldn't be rude and I had to have a chat with him and the kids. So bit delayed. Today was like a football team, GAA or rugby or soccer or whatever you want to call it, with 70% of the play and couldn't score until 6 minutes into injury time when we got the winner. But we were very unlucky, I thought, in a couple of races today. Stage Star outstayed them. Mighty Potter doesn't like the Cheltenham, the Cotswolds weather. I don't know why he hung over so much to the right. I didn't get a chance to look at it yet. We had a great run in the Pertemps with Salvador Ziggy. That drifted out to 18 to 1. I thought it was going to land into the parade ring with 3 legs, given a grand ride. Made a bit of a mistake before the top of the hill. Just lost a little bit, but I don't know where Good Time Johnny, former old horse of mine, but I had given up on him. But he was well tuned out today by Tony Merton. The Ryanair, Shishkin took a couple out of the routes, jumped very indifferently today. In Violin, who I backed in the King George, and people on passage on the bus would have done so with me as well, and had given up on that. Shishkin, I don't think it's what he bounced. I just think he had an off day with his jumping, because he stayed on resolutely up to the line. Tehupu, I thought that was desperate unlucky. He was coming on the rail, and he seen Danny Mullins's right elbow out, so he veered inside Russell, and then Dashel Thrasher brought him violently to the left and going to the last, and then he had to come the other side of him again. I thought he was the moral winner of the race, but that's no good to me that had my biggest bet of the week at 7 to 2 and 4 to 1 yesterday, and I went in again today and had him in all kinds of doubles and everything and stuff. So it took me ages to get over it there. I had to watch it twice again, hoping that he might win. I thought I was in a dream or something. El Redoto finished 6th. We're paying 6 places in that race. Seddon, great campaigner and a great win for John McConnell. Revitalised since he came from England. You wear it well, former bus horse. Well, we back to the last two when it won in England on the strength of the Challow second, and then after the Challow form yesterday being thrown one side again, left it alone today. God, if Ashrow Diamond had rocked up there fully fit, I think it would have taken care of them. Lucia, I didn't expect it to do anything else, only that it just showed the 1-2-3 again, or the 2-3 from Ireland. That would have been anyway. But the last race then we got out on Angel's Dawn, went out to 10 to 1, given a great ride by Peg King. Clout had won 4 out, but didn't lose too much momentum, and I thought it was a bit. If she could stay up, she would. The first 7 were Irish trained as well. The first 7, but on to tomorrow. The first race is we're sort of holding our own, even though the hot pot Shishkin let us down for the hot pot of Cume. That would have put us well up for the few days. But a 10 to 1 winner gives us money to play with tomorrow. The first race is the Triumph Hurl. Vauban won it last year. Willie Mullins won 2 of the last 3, and 7 of the last 10 were Irish trained. 15 declared, and Willie Mullins has 7 declared in this. Lossiemouth is rated 142. Flood Destiny is 146, but she's getting £7, and I think that could make all the difference. I don't know how they picked the jockeys. Townend rode that the last time. and Danny Mullins is staying loyal to his one. Patrick Mullen gets the leg up on Blood Destiny. So I'm going to stick with Lossiemouth. Hopefully, it was a bit unlucky the last day, I thought. I think I've been following this since it was the first day it ran in Fairy House. So that's the selection. I had planned to have a couple of videos ready, but I didn't want to be going. It takes me 10 or 15 minutes to get them organised, and I haven't the time now. I want to get them up there, up there fast. The 210 is the County Hurl. Two favourites in the last 10 years, and both were 5-year-olds trained by Willie Mullins. And 5-year-olds also won it in 2014 or 2016. Hunter's Yarn has the profile of those horses. Willie's its favourite. This is a 6-year-old. It got the 2 runs into it this year, winning the 2 to get the required 4 runs. So it's rated 143. Stateman was rated 141, and Sandwar 2 years ago was 137. So that could have been only for it got its last run. It might have been probably 7 or 8 pound lower. A 7-year-old last won this in 2003. But Gin Coco, I think, has the best form in the race. And I think it has been kept for this race since the Greatwood. It was one I put up at the start of the week in our Each Way Lucky 15. It has only ran 4 times for Harry Fry. It had 1 run at the start for I think it was a Charlie Man. It was Charlie Man. But he was second to I Like to Move It. Now, it was beaten 5.5 lengths, but I Like to Move It was rated 142 and it's 157 now. So I think that was put away with this race in mind. That is what I'm trying to read between the lines anyway. Whether I'm right or not is another thing. They're paying 6th place in that. It's a 9-to-1 shot across the board there. Each way selection. The 250 is the Albert Bartlett. The last favourite to win this was 11-8 favourite at Fisher's Cross in 2013. The Nice Guy won it last year for Willie Mullins at 18-1. And he also won it in 2020 with Monk's Fish. 3-Card Bragg is a horse that the Stig was on about there the last 5 or 6 weeks. He was tipped it up at 9-1. That beat Spanish Harlem. This will be a good guide for Spanish Harlem that goes in the last race. But he won that rated, he was 143. But I thought with the step up and trip the last day, Embassy Gardens for Willie Mullins, and Sean Ryan always likes to have a winner in Cheltenham, the sponsor of the Ballymore Hurl. 2 seconds this week, beating head and a short head or something. But the step up and trip the last day, I thought it was very impressive. Now, whether I know the race fell apart, people will say, but I can only go on what I see. They'd be my 2 against the field in that, but the each way selection would be Embassy Gardens is 10-1. They're paying 5 and 6 places than 4. Shop around when for those. Made a difference today. A person backed El Ridoso with William Hill and they're only paying 5. And the blue bookie and the green bookie was paying 6. And some of them was paying 7. So it's vitally important, especially when doing multiple bets. And as well as that, they're not guaranteeing the multiple prices now. So don't put a price on the... fella showed me a docket there. He had 15-2 up in a lucky 15 about Angel's Dawn. And he didn't get the 10-1. So I wouldn't bother because they're very skimpy and mean with the prices. On to the Gold Cup at 3:30, the highlight of the week. people will know that I've long been on about Galopin de Champ, and in one of that little clips on the channel, I said to him last October, I said, you're going to win the Gold Cup for us, and he pricked his ears. So he's short in price, but you always, and they'll be out to get him probably tomorrow, but there's a bit of late money from there, I see, because he was 15-8 and went out to 2-1 there earlier. But we've a Gin Coco and Protektorat as well in our each way lucky 15 that I put up at the start. And I think that Protektorat is a great price at 14-1. If you look at it, a Plutarch won it last year, 3-1 favourite. 6 of the last 7 were Irish trained. Galopin de Champ is a worthy favourite, all right. 4 of the last 5 winners were 8-year-olds, and Protektorat is 8. And he was third last year, and I think, well, I'm hoping that Harry Skelton left a bit to work on for tomorrow's, and I think he's a great each-way selection at that price. He was third last year on ground that was unsuitable. Most of them are paying 4 places there. Sky Bet is paying 5 places. That's a great bet at that price. 16-1, 5 places. Like when you see a horse was third and he's pits a lot of the profile. I think he's just a forgotten horse in the race. Ahoy Senor, a Plutarch, Brave Man's Game, Novices, Statler, Conflated. It's one of the best Gold Cups in years and years. But on to the 4-10. The Foxhunters. Billaway won it last year, a 13-8 favourite. The last 3 years was won by a 10-year-old. And the last 8 winners were either a 10-year-old or an 11-year-old. The last 8-year-old to win it was 2013. That was Salsify. There's a horse here with he's rated fairly high. The favourite, Vassy, needs good ground to be at its best. And with the ground gone the way it is, I don't know what the forecast for overnight. If it's soft tomorrow, it'll scupper his chances, I think. He drifted like a barge when we were on him Stevens' day up and Down Royal in a Hunter's Chase. And the reason given that day by the trainer was that the ground was gone soft, that he's better on good ground. So he was lucky to get away with it that day. And if it's soft tomorrow, he's inexperienced in Cheltenham. But the ratings, there's a horse there on the yard that's going great, is the Bromheads, Chris's Dream. It's rated 155. Now I know that's an old rating, and it hasn't ran of rules since the Thyestes in 2022. But it has won 2 point-to-points recently to suggest that this was the target. And nothing. Robcor is a top owner, so they're looking for a winner there. There's a good back form way back. It'll light the ground. Running a Gold Cup behind album photo. So that'll be an each way selection, and that when I can't back that to win at with the ground the way it is, playing it safe, I thought, with Chris's Dream. On to the penultimate race, which is the Mayor's Chase. 9 runners. Ellie May won it last year, an 8-year-old, and Calrivi won it the previous year, an 8-year-old. Allegorie de Vassy is 2 for 2 over fences. Jumps to the right. Inexperienced. Lightly raced. Probably the most class in the race. Six-year-old, lightly raced. Impervious. Now, this is a horse. I meant to say this a couple of times on the channel. I tipped up this last year in Cheltenham in the novice hurdle. And I backed it fairly big bet on it at 10 to 1 or 12 to 1. They were paying 4 places in Fairy House, and it finished 5th. Because I was talking to the owner prior to it, and he says it won't be out of the first 4. I said, I believe you, and it was 5th. So I sort of gave up on it then. I wanted to do it 1 3 in a row. But that's inexperienced as well, and I thought a safe play, and even on the ratings, is Jeremy's Flame. It's rated 150. It's getting £3 from Allegorie, Vassy and Impervious. Keith Donoghue for Gavin Cromwell. It won a listed race very impressively the last time in England, beating Zambella, 2.5 mile, and the time it ran in a Group 1 or a Grade 1, before I'm corrected, that was over 2 mile. It seems to be better at the trip the last time. That was 6th in the Blazers in Galway behind Gabby's Cross. We backed it a couple of times then in October and November. It won for us. What happened there? No. But 6 to 1, solid each way bet there, I thought. And then we come to the last race of 2023. The Martin Pipe. It was won last year by Banbridge. We don't know what any horse has in hand here, so we'll have to read between the lines. They're paying 6 places in a few different places, 5 in a lot of them. But there's an outsider there, and it's for Henry de Bromhead again, Spirit of Legend. It's 25 to 1. If you look back at, and I meant to show this, but I don't have the time now. It was second to Green Glory in that good handicap race at novice handicap race in December. Several winners has come out of that race. And then it ran next time round, and it was going well. And I thought it would have won the race the day that Pat's Doro, and that's running in the County Hurl tomorrow, and it's rated, I must check, I think it's 141. But it was brought down at the last. Landrake fell, or the 3 out. I thought Spirit Legend would have won that race that day. And he didn't got a spin just to sort of give him, to qualify him for this. He's a huge prize. So we'll see how the race that earlier, we'll get a guide as to how well handicaps Spanish Harlem. But Rian bet that the last day, so I don't know. And that ran terrible the other day. We'll see how 3-card Bragg runs. We'll have a guide to it then. Cool Survivor. I just think that, I know he's a stayer. He won twice for us last October and November. He had a good run the last day behind Goodland. But he had won a pint to pint. And then he ran in Punchestown, and he was behind Fasselbeggar. That's the previous year. He won in October and November. Then he was second to Hidden Valley Lake, 4th to Goodland. Whether he has the toe for that, but he will be finishing strong because he has the stamina. And it's always a stamina horse that sort of wins this race as well. So passengers on the bus for a long while would be probably saying, yeah, we'll have to stay loyal to him. So, but I thought each way, or Spirit of Legend, just in the hope that inexperience might help. So there was a bus horse running tomorrow in Down Royal. It's Down Royal on tomorrow. I put it up in the description. The Corner House Bar. It won for us the last day. I think that's the only horse of note. I'm going for a few pints tomorrow. I always do on the Friday. I might do a video on Saturday morning if I get time to study the Midlands Grand National. So, like to just thanks to everybody for watching the videos the last few days. The numbers were well up. To the pity we didn't get very lucky instead of being very unlucky, I thought, in a few races. The likes of Tupo today and Jerry Calam yesterday, one more stride, he was up. Although I don't begrudge it to the winners of that. A small yard, I love to see them winning in Cheltenham. And a couple more that we could have got on side. The Stigs nap tomorrow is Allegorie de Vassy, and his next best is 3-card Bragg. It's an awful pity that Ashore Diamond, that was one of our bets of the week, both of us, that didn't run today. But anyway, bash the bookies, over and out. See ya when I see you.